Hey everyone, this is Michael with the general reading for Scorpio Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus for January 2020. Hello and welcome, whether you're watching this video for yourself or cross-watching for another individual with Scorpio placements. Happy New Year, happy 2020. We're not just at the start of a new year, but a new decade, so lots of interesting things happening cyclically, especially for this turn of the decade. There's a lot of interesting things happening in the planets. I'll be interested to see what comes up in the cards for you. But before we actually begin, I just want to make a couple of quick announcements. First of all, I'd just like to thank all of you who have supported this channel with your likes, shares, comments, and subscribes. It's because of all of you I'm able to continue spreading these, spreading these messages, sharing the love, and it's really just such a gift. So thank you all so much. I did recently have a holiday giveaway that was last month. Jesse and Kimber won free readings from me, so congratulations to them. I host giveaways on my Instagram pretty frequently, so if you missed this one, don't worry. I will be having more. And if you haven't already, definitely hit subscribe and follow me on my other social media. That way you don't miss out on any exciting giveaways or even sales. I also did have a sale last month as well. And by the way, a lot of you did turn out for that, and that's wonderful and amazing. I am still catching up, so if you are waiting to hear back from me from an email, those will be coming out shortly, although I did spend several hours, yes, hours today with my emails, making sure I was getting to everybody. So I should be caught up with those, and I'm still catching up with the personal readings, but I'm nearly there. But I really felt like I needed to get to these general readings. So thank you all for your patience and understanding with me there. My clients and really my audience as a whole, you're all very lovely and wonderful. So thank you so much. I'm truly quite blessed, and I've really just been aware of that today, and I'm really feeling the love. So thank you all so much. I hope you feel it too. But yeah, I have all of my links in the description box down below if you're interested in following my social media accounts. I also have links for personal readings, Reiki sessions, and donations for those of you who feel so called. Now, for those of you who are new to this channel, I actually do like to start off these readings with an astrological energetic report, just kind of giving preface to the reading. A lot of the time the astrology and the tarot go hand in hand. And it's a really good way of also figuring out what might be happening when for you specifically when we're kind of pulling these cards. I'll try and reference that throughout the reading as well. I do have a astrological forecast blog in the description box down below. So if you actually want to see a listing of all the aspects and the dates that they're occurring and the transits, you can click on that link down below. I actually look at my own blog posts throughout the month because I'm like, why does today feel weird? And then I'll be like, oh yeah, this is happening today. So I personally find it really helpful, and I hope you all do as well. Of course, I recognize that not everyone is interested in hearing about the astrology and they just want to get straight to the cards. So if you're one of those people, you can look in the description or comment section down below. I will invite someone to leave a timestamp that jumps straight ahead to the actual reading. But honestly, Scorpio, for you specifically, I was actually getting a little bit of a download for what's going to be happening for you in January and kind of 2020 at large, because there's some things that are happening for you specifically. Obviously, the biggest event, I think, of this month, we do have a lunar eclipse on January 10th. And this is really interesting because this is happening. I was honestly a little nervous to do your astrology report because this is happening in your 9th house. This is happening in the 20th degree of Cancer. Now, it always really pays to know your specific natal chart to really figure out how this is all going to affect you personally. But for Scorpio as a whole, this is roughly going to be occurring in the 9th house. And why it made me a little nervous is because honestly, the 9th house is so vacuous. It's the house of ideas. It's the house of philosophy, and then also publishing and getting your ideas out there. So it's kind of this weird, amorphous sort of field, this area of your chart. And there's a lot that it can encompass because it can encompass higher education. It can encompass spirituality. But for you, Scorpio, I think you've been kind of going through a lot of lessons relative to communication. That's been a lot of what 2018 and 2019 has been about, especially 2019 with your ruling planet and Saturn in Capricorn, which is your third house, communication. There's been a lot of emphasis there, and also learning, but that's more like everyday things. It's not necessarily like higher education. It could be learning new skills or learning how to communicate your higher knowledge, your wisdom to other people. And that's actually kind of a theme I am getting for you for 2020 that's going to be really important. And this eclipse is really interesting because being in Cancer, which is ruled by the moon, having the moon be eclipsed in its own sign, there's quite a bit of, there's a lot of energy there. And it's very deep, and there's actually a potential for very deep healing and releasing things, especially family traumas, old things from childhood. That's all of those Cancerian energies. But for you being in the 9th house, it's kind of what makes you a natural psychologist, Scorpio. You're very good at reading people. You understand people. You're able to go deep down into their psyche. You're empaths. You're very psychic as well. And you really do have this ability to see things. However, I almost feel like this eclipse, it's really important to keep an open mind. And I don't want this to come across the wrong way. I don't want it to seem like I'm attacking you. I'm not trying to point any fingers. But if you feel like you have something all figured out, if you feel like you have someone all figured out, be prepared to be a little surprised. Because with that eclipse, there is kind of this shedding, this letting go. You might have this belief system or this thought pattern that you really think is accurate, and it's going to kind of be stripped away. It could also be pertaining to, psychology, the way you're looking at other people, the people close to you. Maybe you think you really know them, and you might start to realize that you don't. Something happens that completely defies your understanding of this person. And I think it's actually going to be opening up a lot of deeper insight for you in the long run. There's a lot of really interesting things that are actually happening this year for you because you do have Jupiter conjuncting Pluto, your ruling planet, 3 times this year. And that's going to really, those two planets, when they conjunct, a lot of the time there will actually be very interesting and groundbreaking discoveries. Because Scorpio is all about going deep down into mystery, solving things, figuring things out. And I actually feel like you are going to be doing that this year. You're going to be having some really big spiritual insights, or maybe if you're in higher academia, you will be making these big discoveries or coming up with these amazing theories that actually turn out to be true or really change the way we look at things. And with all of this emphasis that's been going on in the opposite house, your third house, house of communication, I think a big theme for you this year is as you're learning these things, it's you sharing them and putting them to words and putting it in a way that people can actually understand you. I know a lot of the time Scorpio likes to keep their insights to themselves. They like to kind of cherish and hold on to those things, but it's going to be really important for you this year to start sharing that. And we do have, right after that eclipse, we do actually have a pretty big conjunction with 4 planets. There is Pluto and Saturn that's going to be conjunct, as well as the Sun and Mercury. Those are all in the 22nd degree of Capricorn, with Mercury being in the 23rd. So again, if you're really trying to figure out how this conjunction is going to affect you personally, refer to your own natal chart. I have the natal chart calculator in the description box down below. And kind of see what house that falls in, if there's any planets there for you. But really, overall for you, Scorpio, this is there's been a lot of lessons for all of us, but I actually think Scorpio has really felt it because you have your ruling planet in Capricorn, which is kind of a restrictive energy. It's also been kind of doing this dance with Saturn in the past year, so there's been a lot of lessons and restrictions, and it might feel like you're pouring in all of this energy and trying to get your ideas out there or trying to be understood, and it's just not happening for you, and you're like, what the hell? And you might be really frustrated by me telling you all the time in these readings, you need to be really careful with the way you express yourself. You need to express yourself more, because I feel like a lot of you are like, I've been trying to do that. I've been doing that. I don't know what else I'm supposed to do. And Saturn can kind of do that. It can kind of make you go a little bit crazy, because Saturn it's like this paternal figure. It's this father figure. And with Saturn, it's like if you want a puppy, you have to prove to Saturn that you're going to take care of it, that you're responsible. There's tests. It's not just something that's given to you. Okay? So it's not the universe conspiring against you. I know that Saturn is traditionally considered a malefic planet, but when you really look at it like that, in the way that Saturn is trying to serve you and actually help you in the long run and setting you up for success, it's easier to kind of see from a more objective perspective what's going on here, instead of getting in this frustrated energy of like, I keep trying to express myself, no one's understanding me. I do feel like there is going to be some change there, but there will be kind of a final test for you on the 12th. And I feel like everyone is having this final test. It's going to affect everyone differently. And again, it really is helpful to look at your specific chart. But for the sake of this reading, for you, Scorpio, communication is going to be a big deal. And again, being humble. You might not have all the answers. Maybe you keep trying to tell someone something and you're not listening. Or maybe you keep listening and trying to figure someone out, and you have to ask the question. You have to lead the discussion a little bit. So just kind of keep that all in mind. And we're going to feel a little bit raw from that eclipse. I'm not going to lie. It's kind of like a heavy exam after like going through a hard breakup. Not saying that's what's going to happen for you, but it's just like, it's going to feel like a lot of things all at once. I feel like that's honestly what college was for me. It always seemed to be like right around my finals, my life blew up. I feel like a lot of people can relate to that. But it's always like all at once, right? But I feel like with this conjunction, if you have passed the test, you will really start seeing the rewards here. Because this is the last conjunction between Saturn and Pluto, I believe. I'm pretty sure that's true. We actually had that happen a couple times last year, and that's why 2019 was such a challenging year for so many people, and it was kind of a really hard end of a decade. But we are entering new cycles, we are entering new energy, so really the way you're expressing yourself is so important, especially with Mercury being conjunct there, and the Sun, which is your ego, your sense of self, really putting yourself out there and feeling heard. There is actually also a conjunction with the minor asteroid Ceres as well, and that's actually about health, nutrition, agriculture. It's the goddess of harvest, but I actually think that it does add this long-term view and perspective to things as well, because you're looking at things long term. What is going to be fruitful for me down the road? What is going to pay out? What isn't? What should I be planting my seeds in? What seeds should I be planting? This is all, there's a lot of things that are going to be coming up with all of this energy. But I do hope that that's helpful for you. And January isn't all heavy. It's not all bad either. We do also have a new moon on the 24th in Aquarius, which is a very auspicious placement for a new moon. Aquarius is naturally ruling the 11th house, which is our support, our social networks, our friendships, and also our support from the universe at large. The universe is supporting us through our friendships, it's supporting us through other people, but sometimes there's also just divine intervention and miracles that happen. And that new moon is actually a really good time to make a big manifestation, to manifest some big miracles into your life. There was a nice new moon and the eclipse on the 26th of December with the conjunction with Jupiter, which was an amazing time to manifest. For those of you who watched my video for last month, this is also a very close second to that though too. And for you, Geez, where does that fall? That is your, sorry. Oh no, Aquarius. That is your, I believe, Capricorn is your ninth. So that's your 10th house. That's your midheaven. Sorry, had to do the math there. No, it's your 4th house. Sorry. Okay, I knew I got that wrong. Okay, it is your 4th house, which is your house of home. It's your sense of belonging, your sense of security, and really manifesting that for yourself. I know a lot of the time the holidays can kind of stir up all of these old wounds from family, and we can feel really misunderstood, like we don't really have a home. And that makes a lot of sense for you, Scorpio, because having Aquarius in the 4th house, it's like growing up, you felt like the odd one out. You felt like the wild child with that Aquarian energy. Like maybe you just weren't understood by your parents. And I feel like that's something a lot of Scorpios struggle with, is feeling understood. And we were talking about that earlier with your communication, these lessons that you've been going through. And it's almost like the more you're trying to talk, the more you're trying to explain yourself, I'm almost getting like this tunnel vision as I'm talking about this. So it is really important for you to open your awareness, kind of going back to earlier in the month. I know I went over that already, but that is coming up as really important for you. And there was actually, I was kind of shuffling the deck before, and we did have this 10 of Pentacles, which is now making a lot of sense because this is about home, stability, security. So manifesting that for yourself, especially if you're trying to move. But home and your house or your property, your apartment, that's honestly almost more 2nd house stuff to me, which is material things. Home is an emotional thing. It's your roots, it's your lineage, it's your traditions, it's who you are deep down. And I think you can manifest a lot of healing at that time. This is a big month of healing. Especially with that Cancerian eclipse. Again, a lot of things are going to be coming up to be purged, to be healed, and it's going to be heavy. The best way to use this eclipse is to let go of all of these old beliefs, to let go of the trauma you may have inherited from family members. There is such thing as vicarious trauma. There is such thing as generational trauma. Even if you yourself were not traumatized in a certain way, you might have had a parent that experienced trauma, or even a grandparent or great-grandparent, and that gets passed down. And that actually does show up in the 4th house. So healing that. And whenever you heal yourself, you do heal your bloodline as well. I do believe that. Anyway. I do want to get to the cards. I feel like I could just go on and on. We're already at 17 minutes. Oh my gosh, this isn't an astrology video. This is a tarot video. Why do I do this? Anyway, I'm going to start shuffling the cards here now, Scorpio. As I'm doing this, I'm just going to give my general spiel that this is a general reading, meaning not all of the messages that come forward are going to be meant for you specifically. I do set the intention for these readings to reach the people who need them the most. So if this doesn't resonate, I just wasn't picking up on your energy at this time. You are more than welcome to look at the videos for your moon, rising, or Venus sign if this video doesn't resonate, or you'd just like greater clarity on something I said in this video. I have, again, that natal chart calculator in the description box down below that should be able to help you figure out your natal placements if you are not familiar with those already. And, you know, because we are talking about potentially other people in this reading, do keep in mind that the roles can be switched, especially if you are cross-watching for a Scorpio individual. You might be showing up as this other person. You're welcome to switch the roles if they fit your situation better that way. It's just these messages are trying to reach the largest audience possible. So just keep all of that in mind. And of course, trust your own intuition and discernment above all. So what are the messages for Scorpio? Okay, I just had a big pile there. What are the messages for Scorpio? And we're kind of looking at the energy coming into January. What's going to be happening for you at the start of this month here? I am actually, I reduced these readings a little bit. I reduced the number of cards I'm pulling in the spread. I honestly felt like the videos were just getting so long. I've already been spending so much time on the astrology reports. Some of these videos were getting to be 50 minutes long. One was almost an hour. And I think a lot of the information got a little redundant, to be honest. So I'm curious to hear in the comments at the end of this video if this was more concise, if this was more clear for you, if you liked this better. Just let me know. I'll be curious to get your feedback. So what are the messages for Scorpio? A lot of cards coming out. Okay, I'm feeling like this goes... All right. So, quite a few cards for you on the table already. This is why I feel like I need to shorten these videos. We have the Temperance card that came out with the 8 of Swords, as well as the 5 of Cups in the reverse. We have the Moon and the Knight of Pentacles in reverse coming out together. And then Hanged Man energy. So right away, I feel like some of you could be dealing with a Pisces individual because we have the Moon and the Hanged Man. These are 2 cards that represent Pisces and Neptune respectively, which is Pisces' ruling planet. We do also have Temperance, so there could be someone who has Sagittarius energy in their chart. And finally, this Knight of Pentacles, some of you could also be dealing with an earth sign, especially Virgo, could also be Taurus or Capricorn, maybe even late Leo, but honestly, I'm not picking that up so much for this collective. I'm getting a lot of water and earth with this person. And I do feel like there is a lot of... This feels like there's a lot of love energy here because we have this 5 of Cups in the reverse with this Temperance card and this 8 of Swords. I'm feeling like a lot of you are feeling kind of stuck. There might have been some sort of disappointment here. And I feel like there was something that was out of balance. And I don't think you even see that now. You're getting over the disappointment of something here. And this could be something that occurred in December. Could be something that happens at the start of January, but I'm actually wondering if this happened further back. Could even be going far back as Pisces season for some of you, or Sagittarius season. Maybe there was something that occurred there. And I do feel like you are... With this 5 of Cups, we have this guy who's like crying over these 3 cups that have been turned over. He doesn't see the 2 cups behind him. I do feel like you're starting to lift up your head in some situation. But you're still not seeing the mechanism behind this. And we were talking about this in the astrology report, actually. When we were talking about the lunar eclipse. Be open. Open your intuition here. I think your intuition is trying to show you something that logically you haven't quite figured out yet. Especially if there's still some sort of fixation on a past relationship. There's still something you're supposed to be learning about that, something that's supposed to be bringing you healing. And I actually want to say that some of you are still in this relationship, or some of you are still communicating with this person, with this Temperance energy. And this 8 of Swords, there is this feeling of something being a little stuck, to be totally honest. It's like you're in it. So either this is a connection that's still going on, or energetically it's just so alive for you that it's still showing up in this reading as something that's very present and something you're very tangled up in. With this 8 of Swords, this is a really interesting card. This is actually one of my favorite cards in the tarot deck because this woman is tied up. She has a blindfold on. She doesn't see how she can get out of the situation. She is not yet aware that she's surrounded by these swords. She's actually able to cut herself free. She's on the verge of this, but honestly, Scorpio, I'm still feeling like you're not quite seeing something. There's a lot of confusion here. with this moon energy. And with the Hanged Man energy, you need to see something from a different angle. This is actually showing up in your mind. This is showing up in your communication. Wow. Yeah, this is really... If you didn't watch the astrology report, I would really go back and look at this, because this is feeling very relevant to this reading so far. Some of you are encountering this with an earth sign. Virgo, Taurus, Capricorn, maybe a Leo, Virgo, cusper. But I do see that this could also be, this Knight of Pentacles energy could also be manifesting as you feeling like you're putting all of this energy, or you're really trying to figure something out. You're really trying to figure out how to go forward and do things the right way. But it's like, it's not working. And that was kind of the Saturn energy I've been talking about. There's been a lot of restriction. And there's been a lot of trying to understand, trying to communicate, and just not being understood. Maybe that's why you feel so stuck. You feel trapped inside yourself because you're trying to express yourself. Or maybe you're holding something back, but you're actually trapping yourself. And it's like you're preventing your own expansion, your own movement, your own growth here. This could also be pertaining to a work situation for some of you. It might even be both. I'm actually kind of getting a lot of earth and water. There's a lot of mixing here. This is affecting your life, this pattern, in a very large way. It's not just affecting one area, is kind of what I'm picking up here. Could even be family members, could also be friendships. Really could be any number of things. I almost feel like, again, this is very pervasive. You're encountering this blockage again and again. And you don't even see yet how you're actually holding yourself back. You're going to be learning something about yourself in the first part of January that is really going to make you... It's going to redefine the way you understand yourself and other people. And it's like, oh, maybe this is why I wasn't being understood, or maybe this is why I kept having this miscommunication, because I had this, I had this perspective, or I wasn't even aware of the subconscious bias I was carrying, perhaps from childhood. Wow. There was a lot that just came out of here already. I'm going to throw an animal card in. I feel like I'm going to keep referring to these cards. I feel like I could just keep diving in here. But I want to keep this moving. I want to keep this going because I feel like you have felt really stuck in something. And it's like you're trying to go forward and it feels like you can't. Ooh. Tarantula. Yeah, you're molting. When I think of tarantula, it's like you're shedding the skin that you outgrew. And I feel like the skin was actually a belief system, or again, a perspective that you had. There's growth here. And you actually have a choice. Are you going to... I know this sounds kind of... This might sound a little pointed, but the message that's coming through is actually, are you going to act like a know-it-all? Or are you going to kind of open your mind here a little bit and see things from a different perspective and kind of change your approach? Because tarantula isn't the spider that waits for things to come to it. Tarantula is an ambush predator. It feels out the situation. It uses this intuition that I know you have, Scorpio, and it goes for something. It goes for someone. It has the conversation. It says something when it picks up that energy. And maybe some of you, you're actually waiting for this earth sign or this Pisces or this Sagittarius to open up to you, or whoever it is you're dealing with. You're waiting for this person to open up and you're not getting any progress. And it's like, why am I not getting any progress? Maybe there's something in the way you're behaving that's preventing that from happening. And tarantula is about growth. And choosing the new, even if it feels a little uncomfortable, even if it feels a little exposed. And you are feeling very sensitive with this moon energy. And I almost wonder if the people around you don't even pick up on that. You know, tarantula almost makes me wonder if people see you and they kind of get intimidated, or they feel scared by your energy, or it just feels really intense and they're like, where is this coming from? So again, tracking your biases, tracking your beliefs here. Become very aware of what is your objective truth versus your subjective truth in this situation. What do you really know, and what do you think you know? And what is true for you versus what is true for everyone involved? Because that's always going to vary. And you're always dealing with different truths. Let's see here. So I'm going to pull some more cards, kind of seeing where all of this energy is going. This could be playing out for you in the second half of January. Could even be further out, especially with these eclipses. You're actually going to be feeling these eclipse energies for about 6 months. So this actually could be going quite far out for some of you. So don't freak out if this doesn't happen at the end of January, or if it's like, well, I thought this was going to happen. It still might. Just kind of keep that in mind. But we're really looking, where is all of this going? What's the next step here? What is the most likely outcome here? I knew this card was about to come out, the Chariot. Okay. Yeah, you are getting unstuck. You are moving forward. Show me clearly. Show me more cards here. Oh, that's so funny. I literally saw this card before it came out. That's too many. Let's try that again. Feeling like there's a few. Yeah, okay. I actually got the number 4. I think there's still one more card that's trying to come out here. And I think it's clarifying a different card on the table, so let's see. Things are getting said. There's a lot of energy that's kind of pouring out of this deck right now. And I feel like that's representing a lot of information that's coming in. So again, be prepared to be surprised. All right. So we had the Chariot. The King of Wands is coming out, being clarified with this 3 of Cups. And then we have this 5 of Pentacles, 9 of Wands in the reverse, and 9 of Pentacles in the reverse. And these are all coming out together. And we have 2 9s. Yeah, there's definitely a completion here. So with this Chariot, this is showing up in your day-to-day life. This is coming out after the 8 of Swords, the Temperance card, and the 5 of Cups in the reverse. You are moving forward, but I actually feel like this is a little different than the usual Chariot, because it's like you really need to make sure that before you're charging forward here, that you have a clear understanding of a situation. Don't rush into something. We do have a Mercury retrograde that's going to be happening in February, so maybe if you're kind of looking, you know, at something you're planning next month, you might want to be a little bit careful. You want to be sure that everything is aligned. And I'm not saying don't act. I feel like you do need to move forward in some way, Scorpio. You do need to come forward. Your energy is coming in very strong here. But it's this balance, this light and this dark. Making sure you're seeing things clearly and from an even perspective. I feel like you've been trying to do that, and you might think you have it, but really, I would actually wait for the second half of this month before you really start going forward with things. With this King of Wands and this Three of Cups, I gotta be honest, Scorpio, I'm getting this sense of jealousy. And I don't know if this is coming from you or if this is coming from another party. I feel like it's kind of an even split here in this group. Because I'm seeing this breaking out, this coming forward, this Chariot energy. There's this Three of Cups, and there's this King of Wands, a fire sign perhaps for some of you who's involved here. And I don't want to say third-party situation, because I don't think it's like an affair. But it's like someone I think has a lot of attention on them with this King of Wands energy. And someone's feeling a little left out in the cold. Someone's feeling a little ignored with this Five of Pentacles. And you know, you might be this King of Wands for some of you. Maybe your energy is so big, or people perceive your energy as being so big, that they feel like they're kind of ignored by you. Because you're actually coming in very strong towards the end of the month. So it's possible that people are jealous of you. I am seeing with this Nine of Wands and the Nine of Pentacles, it's a really interesting energy, because it's like some of you are coming out of your comfort zone here with this Nine of Pentacles. And I almost feel like you might be a little ejected from it. I almost get the sense that some of you are actually barreling towards this and you don't realize it yet. And for some of you, this is actually going to be a reflection of a pattern that you're doing with other people. It's like you're finally, it's almost like, okay, I guess what I'm trying to say is for some of you, you're going to finally get the way people are reacting to you, because it's like you're going to almost feel the way they feel your energy. And I don't think this is on purpose. I'm not making fun of you. I'm not calling you out. I'm really trying to call you in. Because I really do genuinely see that you're trying here, that you're frustrated in this situation. It's like, why am I not being heard? Why is this person not talking to me? Why are they not opening up? Why are people closed off to me? And I feel like for some of you, it's like, it's this big energy. And I actually get the sense that there's a group of you where it's almost like you surround yourself with so many people, or different types of people, where this person kind of feels like it invalidates their connection to you. Because I feel like there is this sense of you being surrounded by people with this Three of Cups in the second half of January. But there's still this sense of being left out in the cold. Feeling kind of forsaken a little bit. I really want to get some animal energy in here and clarify this. Yeah, so this is about a commitment. Oh my God. You have fox and fish. This is all about commitment. And it's like, if you're dealing with someone who's being very slippery with you, I want you to check inward. Why are you afraid of commitment? And I know that's gonna irritate some of you just by me saying that or asking that question, but it's like, if you keep finding yourself drawn to these people who are trying to make you jealous, maybe not on purpose, but I feel like there's this sense of jealousy, like there's this slippery energy. It's like I'm surrounding myself with all these people, like I could have anyone, is almost the energy I'm getting relative to love. And someone's feeling a little hurt about that, and there might be some communication there. What you might be realizing, though, is that this person might not be committing because maybe you're also kind of playing some games here as well. You know, you have fish, which is a very slippery energy. And again, Pisces. Some of you are dealing with a really Piscean individual here, just saying. And there could actually be something that's happening in Pisces season. There could actually be a commitment that is coming in for you in Pisces season. I'm actually seeing that as a potential. However, right now, that's not something I see happening in January because there's these games. This is Fox energy as well. Very, excuse me. Someone's feeling called out. Sorry. Okay. So this Fox energy, it is someone who's very... Sorry. Okay. Let's try. Okay. I do use my voice a lot, but I actually feel like there was this energetic chokehold. And maybe that's what's going on communication-wise here. There is this closing of the throat chakra that's going on. And with this Fox energy, it's like, it's almost these games that are being played. It's like this very alluring creature that comes in, and then the moment it's spotted, Fox will kind of pull away. And it's almost testing you. It's not that this person's trying to play hard to... I mean, they are kind of playing hard to get, but it's like they want you to follow them. Yeah, I am seeing that. I was kind of getting Virgo, Leo cusp earlier. I actually am getting kind of that shadow Leo energy. So that person could also have some Leo energy here. It's like they want you to sort of chase them. But that's also not all on them. Scorpio, I think you're also playing games too. I think you're both playing games. You might not realize you're playing that. And I really want you to sit with that for this month. I really want you to sit with this message, and maybe at the end of January, come back to this video, kind of review this again. And be like, oh, okay, I'm starting to see this now. If you're not seeing it right now, kind of come back later. I know this is a general reading. I really want you to use your discernment for this. For a few of you, I almost wonder if someone you are interested in is entering a relationship to make you jealous. Because I'm getting this slippery commitment energy. They're doing it on purpose to kind of get back at you and kind of try to get that jealousy, get that passion, stir that from you. But again, I'm not justifying what this person's doing, but I think you're both sort of playing games. Maybe you're the one doing that too. These roles can be switched. Are you trying to get into a relationship? Are you trying to make someone jealous? And if so, I think it's really important for you to be honest. Even though Fox is a slippery energy, what's really crazy about this is that foxes do mate for life. So it's like once you have the fox as a partner, it's like it's someone who's very committed. And that's also, that could be kind of the silver lining, the positive intention towards being averse to commitment. If some of you are coming into that a lot, if that's a pattern you find yourself in a lot, it could be that person actually takes commitment very seriously. And it sounds a little counterintuitive, but because they take it so seriously, they don't want to just jump into a commitment. They don't want to go in with this Chariot energy here. Maybe that's you. Honestly, this whole second half, it felt like this weird, amorphous, it almost feels like you're both sides are doing both behaviors at different times, if I'm being totally honest. But I do feel like there actually is a commitment here, which sounds crazy. But again, I don't want you rushing into this. I don't feel like this is a commitment you should just be in right now. This is something that really needs to be in alignment, and you really need to make sure that your own energy is in alignment here. But I feel like it's kind of stopping the games. You're taking a direct approach. That's the advice that's being given to you. And also, if you're kind of just feeling like, if you're still feeling a little stuck with this fish energy in your day-to-day life, making lists, just doing small things, a checklist will help kind of make you feel this momentum. It'll get these wheels turning for you. It'll help you build this momentum of the Chariot. Those are all the messages I am getting for you right now, Scorpio. I do hope that this reading was helpful. Be sure to hit like and subscribe. Let me know in the comments what's going on for all of you. I'd be curious to hear. It seems like a very interesting, complicated situation. But yeah, I'm very curious to hear about that. And be sure to support one another as well in the comments. I think it's really great to see people kind of coming together and connecting. I actually really like that about these videos. And it kind of just makes us feel like we're not alone and going crazy all by ourselves. I do also have links in the description box for personal readings and Reiki sessions for those of you who want some more personalized assistance, maybe some energy healing for this eclipse, or maybe some energy healing to help open your throat, because some of you are really dealing with some closed throat chakra stuff. But yeah, that's all I have. I hope to see you all in the next video. Happy January, Scorpio. Bye.